This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Good morning. I'm David Hunt along with Heather Belden, and you're listening to Volusia Today. This program is made possible by the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Heather, good morning. How's it going? How's your Friday going so far?
It's going amazing. And also, shout out Daytona Beach International Airport.
Yeah, big time. Avelo flights are still coming in and out.
They are.
Cheap and affordable. What I heard, one of the locations has great pizza.
Yes, New Haven. It's on my list.
My list too.
We're going.
I think I saw flights for like $45 one way and like round
crazy.
trip $90. That's wild.
And that airport is literally a breeze.
It's amazing. I think there's more to come out of Daytona.
Big
sure.
Weekend plans?
Take it easy. We had a busy week. We council meeting was Tuesday, and then last night we had the interzone competitions with Volusia County Beach Safety.
Incredible.
And if you don't know, that's where Volusia County Beach Safety and Ocean Rescue's 3 zones battle it out. That's Ormond, Daytona, and New Smyrna.
And big congratulations
to Ormond Beach.
Ormond Beach.
And they won by 1 point. It was a nail-biting finish. There were some interesting points in that competition. If you did miss it and you do want to check it out, it's some of the best athletes we have in Volusia County. There's college runners out there, there's college swimmers. It's pretty impressive. You can go on Volusia County's YouTube channel or Volusia Beach's YouTube channel or our Facebook pages and check that out. It's definitely worth a watch. And speaking of the beach, and if you didn't know as well, we're in the middle of sea turtle nesting season. I had heard we're coming up on the point where the sea turtle nest, they're starting to hatch, or we're in that zone where they're kind of starting to hatch off. And so we brought in the studio two of the top experts in Volusia County. We have Alexa Putillo, the HCP, that's the Habitat Conservation Plan Field Manager with Volusia County, and Nicole Weiss, the sea turtle lighting specialist with Volusia County. Nicole and Alexa, how are y'all doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming in. Mm-hmm. So I want to take it back to last year. Let's talk about last year's sea turtle nesting. Let's just start with that. Tell us about last year's sea turtle nesting season.
Yeah, last year was a very exciting nesting season. If any of y'all listeners were around last year, you know we had record-breaking nesting numbers on our county managed beaches. So the highest recorded year on our managed beaches, we had 1,427 sea turtle nests in total. Yeah, so well above our kind of average. So it was very exciting. We were all very busy. And so, yeah, that was last year's end. It was also exciting because we had switched to an electronic data collection system. And I'm so thankful we did last year because it made everything a lot more efficient on our end.
Go ahead.
What's the average?
So historically, kind of in the past, the average is about 500 sea turtle nests per year. That number has increased over the last couple of years to maybe about 800, 900 we're seeing each year. But 1,400 nests is definitely well above that average.
Does that electronic data collection tie to the sea turtle dashboard?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it is directly tied. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the sea turtle dashboard.
Yeah, so on our website, volusiaseaturtles.org, we're able to provide real-time data directly from what's being entered on the beach, and we're doing that in partnership with kind of our GIS team in the county. They are fantastic, and so the data that gets entered directly on the beach goes live real-time up on that website, so we're able to provide the public folks kind of real-time information on what our numbers are looking like. So volusiaseaturtles.org, the opening page are those nesting numbers, so definitely go check it out if you haven't.
It's an incredible dashboard. It gives you like up to the minute data.
Yeah.
Like you can see the bar graphs going up, and like when there's a new nest, it's super cool to just check out and stay in the loop on all that stuff.
Especially this time of year, because we are getting new nests every single night. We are starting to enter our hatching season. We're going to start getting really busy. So you see both of those numbers kind of rising.
Mm-hmm. All right, so back to last year. Super exciting turtle nesting season, record year, and then Hurricane Ian hit. And a big question at that time was sea turtle impacts. Mm-hmm. So we did lose some sea turtle nests, is that correct, during Ian?
Mm-hmm. We lost some. We did lose the remainder that were on our beaches. Luckily, Ian hit pretty later on in our season, so the majority of sea turtle nests had already hatched and were already off of our beach.
And so the question was, how is this going to affect, because you said it was late in the season, how is this going to affect future seasons? And then all of a sudden after Ian, we had a new nest, right? A new nest came up, and then we were so excited about it. We were like, "Oh, this is amazing!" You know, they're going to come back. You know, it's going to be great. And then we had Nicole hit, so it was back to back. It was like riding a roller coaster. It was ups and downs. And so then after Nicole, even more devastation, even more erosion on our beaches. And the question was, what is it going to look like this year? So how are we looking this year? Give us the update.
Yeah, we are just about as busy as we were last year. We have another very high nesting season. I pulled all the numbers as of yesterday, so they are going to be different today. But through yesterday, July 13th, this time last year, we had 1,144 nests on the beach. As of yesterday, we had 1,141 nests on our beach. So just a handful behind last year. So we are still having a very high nesting season. That has been shown throughout the state of Florida. FWC, they announced the kind of preliminary totals in the state of Florida through June, and it was a high year kind of across the board.
Are you guys all waiting to see if you'll beat the record for last year?
You're
like, it's so close.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yes, we all do place bets in our office. We all guess, and I can tell you that we all lost. It is past all of our guessing numbers. So
HR, if you're listening, we are not betting in the office.
No, it is. It's Monopoly money. It's Monopoly money. It's
just guessing. Price is Right rules.
So there's a lot of work that goes into this, right? It's not just going out there and we have a lot of sea turtle nests. Awesome, super cool. There's a lot that your department and divisions do, and then there's a lot that the residents do year round. Let's get into a little of that. What goes into this? What goes into being able to foster an environment that encourages turtles to come onto our shores?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that is thanks to our dedicated volunteer groups. So in terms of documenting the sea turtle nests and crawls, we have 2 nonprofit volunteer groups that monitor the beaches every single morning right at sunrise during nesting season. So they're on the beach every morning looking for new sea turtle crawls, marking new sea turtle nests, and checking on the nests that we already have. So they're very dedicated. They collect a lot of different data on those nests, high accurate GPS point units, and then, marking those nests so that those eggs are protected for their incubation period.
How do they spot a turtle nest? What does it look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we look for new sea turtle crawls on the beach. Each species crawl is going to look a little bit different, but they've looked the beach for new sea turtle crawls. When they find a new crawl, they will get out and look at what that crawl looks like and determine if it is in fact a nest or if it is what's known as a false crawl, which is when a female sea turtle will come up on the beach with a nesting attempt, but for some reason she does not nest and she just turns around and goes back to the water. They will actually false crawl naturally, but there might be some other things that cause them to false crawl. Something might spook that nesting female. She might bump an obstacle or something like that.
So more importance of taking all your obstacles off the beach.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely.
We don't want them to false crawl.
I love the saying, keep the beach clean.
Clean, dark. Flat. I was going to mimic you, yes. That's the slogan we kind of have in the sea turtle world, clean, dark, and flat.
Keep it
3
simple.
things everyone can do.
Sticks in the head for sure. Keep it simple.
Now here in Volusia County, where are most of these nests located?
Yeah.
Do we have like more popular beaches than others?
Yeah, we do. It's a great question. So in terms of our county managed beaches, the majority of sea turtle nests are at the north end of the county and at the south end of the county. So north of Grenada, if you're familiar, in Ormond Beach, and then up through Ormond by the Sea. That's a pretty high nesting density area. Similarly, at the south end of the county, south of Hiles Boulevard, if you're familiar, in New Smyrna Beach, through the end of our kind of Volusia line, that's going to be another high nesting density area.
Do you think there's a reason for that? Is it like the sand or the tide, or?
It's a great question. So historically, that is where the majority of our sea turtle nests have been. And it does actually kind of correlate with our different beach management areas. Those areas are our natural beach management areas where there is no vehicular activity, no public driving. The sand is not as conducive for driving in those 2 areas. We are pretty unique in Volusia County. We kind of have 2 main sand types. In the north and south ends of the county, we have a little bit darker, it's coarser sand made up more of shell fragments. And then in kind of the middle of the county, if you're thinking Daytona Beach shores, we're seeing more of that fine quartz, hard packed sandy beaches. groups. Similarly, in those two areas, north and south end of the county, they're a little less developed. So we're seeing a little more of that natural dune ecosystem. The development that is there is a little more residential. And then in terms of where on the beach these nests actually are, they tend to be a little bit higher up on the beach, closer to kind of where that dune is.
So here's the deal. We love the sea turtles.
Mm-hmm.
We like looking at the nest. We love seeing them on the beach, but we want to give them their space, correct, Nicole? We want to give them their space and let them do their thing. Tell us a little bit about if you do see a nest, what are some just standard procedures we can follow to help them continue to encourage them to be on our beaches?
So if you do see a sea turtle nest, the best thing to do is, just keep your distance, look at it. You can read the signage on it and everything, but you definitely don't want to interfere with the nest at all. And then, if you want more information about those nests, you can visit the websites of the two respective groups. So for south of the inlet, it would be the New Smyrna Beach Turtle Trackers, and then north of the inlet, it's Volusia Turtle Patrol. So they're pretty good at updating their Facebooks and other social media with information about what's going on the beaches and what they're doing for their respective areas.
Are the eggs visible from, for the naked eye if you're going up to the marked nest?
No.
So then, there's no point to even bother with it. Just look, and that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really,
Okay.
nothing to see.
Nothing to see here.
But good education on the signs, so.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure. And you have a super interesting job. Tell us a little bit about your job, lighting specialist.
Yeah, so I go up and down the beach for the entirety of sea turtle nesting season, looking for any lighting violations that could potentially negatively impact sea turtles, whether they're nesting or the hatchlings trying to emerge from their nest, and work with property owners to try to rectify those lighting issues so that our beaches can be dark habitats for sea turtles to utilize, but still the properties can have the lighting that they need to feel safe and secure and meet codes and everything like that.
So why? What does the lights do to the sea turtles? What happens there?
So sea turtles are really attracted to light. They're phototactic. So when the females are coming up on the beach looking for a place to nest, they could potentially be kind of misguided by that bright white light, that artificial light. It can overwhelm them a little bit. So that can cause females to false crawl and avoid nesting on our beaches altogether. For the hatchlings, it absolutely overwhelms their senses. And when they're emerging from their nest, they're looking for the brightest horizon, not necessarily, the brightest light, which ideally would be the moon. So what they're looking for is that celestial light kind of reflecting off of the ocean, and that should be the brightest horizon for them, which would guide them to the ocean. But on developed beaches, kind of like our beaches here in Volusia for the most part, we have a lot of development on that west side of the beach area. So not just the west side, but you also have all that light coming from the north and the south in the different areas. So they're pretty much surrounded by bright light either way, and it can, get very confusing for them. And unfortunately, sometimes the hatchlings do crawl in the wrong direction, and they can get lost and wander down the beach, and that causes a lot of issues for them.
Because they have. Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering how far west would a light bother them? Is it just right there, or is it across A1A? How deep are you looking for lighting issues? So
we only look at specific properties that are within our sea turtle lighting ordinance boundaries. So it's basically the property immediately west of the shoreline, and then in some areas the parcels west of those ones. So it's really a smaller area, but the impacts from light can be felt, it's far more reaching than just, the lights right on the beach. So while we're only able to enforce light within the ordinance boundary, really any light that's coming from west of the beach can impact sea turtles in numerous ways. So, excess lighting can cause sky glow, which is where there's basically a big bubble of light over an area, because that's all of the artificial light kind of going up where it's not directed where it needs to be. So there's a lot of different potential for lights harming sea turtles, not necessarily just those ones right on the beach.
So I live in DeLand, so I'll just have to use this as an excuse for my kids. Like, we have to turn the lights off, guys.
Well, and then at the end of the day, the sea turtle lighting is this super soft, amber, downward-facing lighting. It looks beautiful. We did a ride along, I think it was 2 nights ago.
Yeah, Wednesday night.
Wednesday with you, and the facilities, I think we stopped at Volusia County Beach Safety's New Smyrna facility.
Yeah, the New Smyrna Beach Safety Station. They have really nice amber sea turtle friendly lighting because they are right on the beach. So it does give a really nice ambiance, and it's a lot easier on our eyes too. So
there are
benefits for
alternatives for lighting.
Absolutely. There are tons of different sea turtle friendly fixtures and a lot of options when it comes to lighting your property and being compliant with the ordinance and making it sea turtle friendly. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here, is to help property owners try to find those solutions that work for them as well as for the sea turtles.
Yeah, the saying, I'm from the government and we're here to help. You ever heard that one? It's like, oh man, but at the end of the day, we really are. Like,
yeah.
we really are here to help, and there's resources available to upgrade your lighting to sea turtle. I think there's ways to do it, and can we send people in direction for possible resources for help?
Oh yeah, so if you go to VolusiaSeaTurtles.org, there is a beachfront lighting tab that has a ton of different information, everything from our sea turtle lighting ordinance, to different resources that you can visit to find sea turtle friendly lighting, consultants that you can hire, and things like that. So lots of information on our website.
And before we take a break, light pollution, that's what we're talking about. It's light pollution. So when you think about pollution, we're like, oh, trash, litter, these huge problems that are like long-term problems. We've got to focus on this for a long period of time. Light pollution, you change your lights out. If everybody just changed their lights out and did what they needed to do as far as that, boom, problem solved. It could be as easy as changing a light bulb outside.
Yeah, light pollution is one of the few forms of pollution that's actually somewhat manageable and has pretty much immediate effects. So it's absolutely a great way to help if you're looking for something to do that's going to help out the environment and wildlife. Getting wildlife-friendly lighting is absolutely a good way to go.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to talk more about sea turtles.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
We're back. I'm Heather Belden along with David Hunt, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia. And joining us today are our Volusia County sea turtle lighting experts, Nicole and Alexa. So we have been talking about the sea turtles. We've talked about the nesting. We've talked about how they find their way onto the beach, what part of the beach they're on. Now we've got a mama sea turtle on the beach. What if they're having an issue, they're having some distress? What do you guys have to offer the public to what to do next?
And how can you tell?
Yeah.
Either way. Nicole or Alexa? Nicole. Yeah.
So if a sea turtle is in distress, what you can do is contact FWC, and there's a few different ways to do that. They do have an app available, the FWC Wildlife Alert app that you can download on your phone, and that will kind of guide you through how to get in touch with FWC. You can text 847-411. Just type in FWC in your message and then give some brief details, and someone will get back to you. Or you can call the hotline at 888-404-3922. Those are all 24-hour ways to get in touch with FWC, and they're kind of the best place to go as far as getting them the information so they can get the right person out to respond.
What does a distressed sea turtle look like?
Oh, it could be a lot of different things. So it could be, trapped under, an obstacle. It could be flipped over. Hatchlings that have disoriented, that are just kind of wandering aimlessly around the beach or back in the dune or into the road. There's a lot of different ways, but if you think that a sea turtle is in distress, it's worth giving FWC a call, and that way they can help out if needed.
And I'm assuming, do not touch them, do not approach, find someone, maybe even a lifeguard or a police officer. Can they help?
Yeah, if it's during the day, if it's some type of sort of daytime nesting or hatching activity, the best thing to also do is going to be to give beach safety a call. Especially if it's during the day, they can help respond. If it is when the beach is opening to driving, they can help shut down traffic lanes, and they can call the designated permit holder, and they can get some folks out there as well to respond.
So now moving on to the mom has come up. She's laid her eggs. We're entering the season where we might start to see those hatchlings.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us more about them.
Definitely. So those eggs will incubate in that nest for about 2 months, and then most hatching activity happens at night. The cooler temperatures of the sand as it cools down, as kind of nightfall happens, that's kind of like a cue that it is nighttime for them to come out. We have already had a number of our nests already hatch on our beaches, and that yielded about 1,000 hatched eggs so far, and that number is just going to keep increasing over the next couple weeks. So as well, on that website I mentioned, VolusiaSeaTurtles.org. We did this last year and we're continuing it this year. We have added a number of hatched eggs on our managed beaches, so folks can see how many eggs have hatched from the nests on our beaches, which is an exciting number.
And it's something I didn't know that I learned the other night with our ride along with Nicole, is that they can come back multiple times, right? It's not just like they come up and lay. They might visit our beaches. Tell us about that.
Definitely. So each female usually lays a couple of clutches each nesting season, and then she takes maybe 1 or 2 years off, because this process does take a lot of energy. So yeah, she will lay a couple of clutches each season. Depending on the species, it might be 4 to 6 times on average, sometimes only once, but it just kind of depends on the female.
So I have 100 million questions, but unfortunately I only have around 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. What is the message to the people? What should we take away from this? Let's start with you, Alexa. What is the message?
The slogan we mentioned earlier, keeping the beach clean, dark, and flat, is the big thing people can do. Keeping the beach clean is a huge one. We want to minimize obstacles for both those nesting female sea turtles and those tiny hatchlings that are emerging out of the nest. This means packing back in everything that you bring to the beach. That includes your recreational beach furniture. Please, no tents, no chairs, no grills left on the beach. We want everyone to also enjoy our beach, our residents, our visitors. So enjoying your beach day, but then maybe any holes you dig or sand castles that you make, filling those in and knocking those down before you leave the beach, returning it to kind of an ambient, natural space is really, really important to help minimize obstacles for both our females and our hatchlings. And a lot of these things, not only do they help our wildlife and help our nesting and hatchling turtles, but they also help make the beach a cleaner and safer place for all of us, for all of us humans, visitors and residents. Using the beach, it's a huge part of all of our lives. So all of these things benefit that as well.
Nicole?
So probably the biggest takeaway is that sea turtle friendly lighting doesn't equal living in the dark. So there are definitely ways that you can still have all the light that you need and be compliant with the ordinance and keep it sea turtle friendly. And that's why we're here. If you need assistance with that, I'm here to help you, so please get in touch with our office and we can help you out with that. And then one of the biggest issues that we've seen in the last couple of years on our beaches at night is the use of flashlights and spotlights and other types of artificial handheld light. So if you're out on the beach at night, I know a lot of people like looking for ghost crabs and things like that. The best light out on the beach at night, honestly, is no light. But if you do have to have a light, please use a red light and only use it when you need it. If you're not using it, just turn it off. If you want to give it a try, just let your eyes adjust, give it a few minutes, and you'll actually be able to see a lot more than you think you can.
And if you are walking at the beach at night, especially this time of the year, watch where you're walking, right?
Yeah, you could definitely come across sea turtle or hatchlings.
Yeah, and they're little, so you got to definitely watch that.
Tiny.
When we were doing our ride along the other night, we looked pretty wild because we just had this red, because we were filming, so we needed a light, so we had a red light, and
Right.
we were just sticking out like a sore thumb, but it wasn't. We were in the good. You use a spectrometer, and we were a good part of the range to be able to use that.
Yep.
It's super scientific what you all do. So we got about a minute left. I've been struggling with the tagline for Volusia Today. I, at the end of the show, you got to leave them with something at the end of the day.
Yeah, though it was a little awkward.
I know, I just leave them hanging. It's terrible. So I was thinking we could all try a little tagline with 50 seconds left. Heather, what would be your tagline if we were leaving right now? Oh, it's tough.
Volusia Today. Listen up.
Listen up. Alexa, what do you got? Tagline.
Keep the beach clean, dark, and flat, and enjoy it.
That was the one I was going to use.
Ditto.
No.
Same page. All
Yeah,
same page.
right. Well, it's been an amazing show. You all are amazing. Thank you for everything you do for our county. It's a lot of work. It's super scientific. Like I said, we could talk for 3 hours about what you all do because we just hit the top layer. Check out the website. Give me the website one more time.
VolusiaSeaTurtles.org.
And yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be an amazing weekend. We're still in hurricane season, so get prepared, stay prepared, and get out and enjoy Volusia County.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.